Alright, welcome back to my Blueprints audiobook, The Curse of Blackbridge. Great start. I am a very expert audiobook reader, as you will soon tell. Alright, is this going to take the entire stream? 2 hours of reading The Curse of Blackbridge? Is it like a whole entire book with like 20 chapters? We'll see. I am the only person who has ever checked out this book. I bought it, and I checked it out, and they're just gonna keep it. This is so unfair. And we do have the magnifying glass, which is really nice. Okay, I think we'll do the first, like, screenshot everything. It's like the Red Riding Hood. Oh my god, he's dead. Oh my god, part 2. We're getting spoilers here. I'm reading, like, the last paragraph of the book. Now they speak. I don't know if I want to read this book. I don't like the ending, really. Yeah, I technically own the library, that's true. But I can't draft it whenever I want. Okay, hopefully I got all of those screenshots. Look at them go. And more, yeah. We love Steam notifications that can only queue, like, 3 at a time. It's so great when you play a little game that, like, you launch and you didn't even realize that they had, like, 100 achievements and all of them are just for, like, launching the game. And then this happens for, like, 15 minutes. It's really fun. The Curse of Blackbridge by Redford Ewing. Is there something going on here? You got popcorn, you're ready for an audiobook. It looks like something is happening here. There's, like, a little, like... I guess that's just a smudge? It almost looks like there's something behind it, like a shadow of a letter, but then when you do this, it's not there, so I guess that's nothing. The Curse of Blackbridge. And yeah, that's the monument, the, like, landmark of Arindia. Forward. The legend of Blackbridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. Hold on. Yeah, just checking I didn't forget, like, the BRB. I mean, I'm assuming people would have told me by now then. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and, as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text seemed an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of the legend, the leg end, and while the details would often change, I was surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of this tale, capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Blackbridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Yeah, because your grandmother was objectively the best grandmother, and had the best stories. Uh-huh. Part 1. The Berry Picker from Oris. There are 6 berries. I'm sure that is very significant. And I don't think there's anything in the foreword to magnify. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. Tuh. T-U-H. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time when society was at its worst, and for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, high-road robbery. Gasp. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years. He's like, nothing, I could beat him up, I'm 14. Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. It is not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take any easy road out. An easy and well-traveled road, paved with temptations, leading out of the city and into the gentrylands? Gentrylands? I don't know. where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jasper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, that notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. Tuh. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to this vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Well, so can't he just pretend not to be part of the gang, and just, like, he just picks berries during the day for them, and they, like, let him stay? Win-win? Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded... But the headway dawn afforded meant Jasper could... I don't know what afforded means in this context. Like, there was a headway dawn, which meant that he could reach the furthermost berry patches without worrying of being chastised for tarrying upon his return. Berries. Many berries. Does he, like, pick poison berries and a whole, like, band of bandits all die? And that's the curse? Oh my god, they're all dead. It must be the curse. And then this little 13-year-old boy is just like, yeah, it was a curse. Despite the hardened circumstances that had... Oh, that was same page. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way, Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jasper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as new... What? Huh? Oh yeah, he went to a new grove. I see, like, on the way, he couldn't find anything, but he was like, oh, well, the dawn is, like, lighting up the way so I can go further than I ever have before. And then he got here. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the skies. So you're saying there's, like, 57 of them? Because that's how many I have right now, or whatever it was. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jasper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates, who upon seeing his yield might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket. They are poisonous! They probably are poisonous! Everyone knows about this grove! And they just, like, don't pick it because they're fucking obviously poisoned, dummy! And he kills them all! I'm calling it now. Jasper set off to fill his basket and was making steady strides in this task when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. A carriage is approaching. The thought of it made Jasper freeze. Also, wait, hold on. Don't think there's anything here, but specifically the images I want to, like, magnify, since we do have a magnifying glass, which I should note down as well, that I've, like, checked this with a magnifying glass. Yeah, it's no new clue. The thought of it made Jasper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept toward the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment more before the sound source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jasper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses, and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia had ever seen. It was not just any carriage, it was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such an effect that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. Feels very like Narnia-esque. Is this the witch? What does she call again? The White Witch or something? I forget what her title is. This is like Edmund, basically. Yeah, nothing much here. "You, boy, get out from behind that bush," he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death coming around the bend of my own drive, and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not be any face." Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through the bramble and mud. I was picking berries." Jesper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. Is she just called the Evil Queen? I feel like she had like a different title in Narnia. Yeah, I guess Evil Queen and Snow White, that's a different thing, yeah. I was thinking of Narnia. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expression on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Huh? So he was happy. I thought he was going to be like, those are our berries. Any suspicions that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the Unholy Hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. "Berries, eh? Say you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy." Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. "I know, and what luck I found them. I've only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me fourfold the time back home to procure this number." The driver bent down for a closer look. "And where is your home, boy? It must be quite far." Wait, hold on. No picture here. Jesper replied with a scripted response. "A little south of Tanner Fork? The Dead End? Maybe? Just past the Burt Woods. My god, that is far. You couldn't have come all that way only this morning." It was true. Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jesper had traveled. We might want to check the Reddington map as well, where this would end up being, if it's close to like the Angel Tower or something. And while that response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Blackbridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. "Sir, I've traveled much farther for much less profit. I dare say there's no distance yet made by man that would not be worth undertaking for a prize such as these. Surely you have tasted them for yourself." Have you? Jesper felt happier with this response as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. "In my youth, often, but perhaps I took it for granted because I've never had to travel very far." Whoever's like in the carriage is just like sitting there, just like, why have we stopped? What is going on? They're like royalty, and this driver is just like talking to a random like street rat boy. I never had to travel very far, and even then my father would always drive us here in our carriage, so I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward. It was Jesper's time to smile. "Then let my efforts reward us both today." He raised the basket even higher. "A taste in memory of your youth." They're poisoned! They're poisoned! Sir, they're definitely poisoned. He's gonna kill the driver. He's gonna fall over dead. The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. And at the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat. Oh, never mind. It was a distraction, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes. "And for that taste, I will have your purse, sir." Oh, Jesus. I thought it was like one of the other ones that had followed him and then like took the opportunity to ambush him. Nope, Jesper's just a fucking asshole. "And for that taste, yeah, in memory of my youth." The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. This seems exceedingly stupid when he's driving a carriage. I guess no one is in the carriage, just like coincidentally. He lucked out, maybe? "Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause." Wait, so what did he do? Oh, yeah, okay, so he, like, held the dagger up to the throat. I thought he, like, cut him But, like, he is drawing blood, but just, like, holding it. Though I will admit, the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you in the indignity of walking appeals to me. Leaving you, whatever. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. Why have you no purse upon your person? The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing toward the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down then and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands, a concession I assure you of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself, because slowly and lowering, my brain does that a lot, combining two words, himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jesper had seen on this man's face, now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it. Wait, who's saying that? Is Jesper saying that, or the driver? Secured the final bindings, and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Okay, he said that. Inside, the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, and yeah, no one was there, luckily for you. A stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. Yep. The further we get, the worse I read. I felt like I was doing pretty well, but now I'm just like stumbling over every word. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat, a large wooden lockbox. Despite this hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, two observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all four sides of the box hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Arindian hands. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Ancient realms, huh? So, like, the 8 realms we have today are not the 8 realms of the past? I mean, other than, like, Arindia? Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock and would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver. Hold on, I need tea. T because of key. See the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, There is no key to that box. Jesper stood up. Easy enough then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. You are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. Okay, it's not berries. The berries are not poison. Fine, I was wrong. Alright, they're not poison berries. You have opened that which should never have been opened, and you are cursed. Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. What is it? That's one. Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. One what, you mumbling agenter? I don't know what that word is. And it is italics. We didn't have anything about the Curse of Blackbridge having like a word, did we? I don't know. Should I like do something like this? Just like add this just to see. I couldn't scroll there for some reason. I don't know why Why does that? Just add it like down here or whatever. Just in case it's relevant. It probably is not. I guess it's 2 words, but whatever. And in God's name, why have you no purse upon your person? The man did not seem intimidated. 1 pace. He paused for effect. 12 more and you will be dead. Was he that close? He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Wow, nice callback there to the previous page. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses and had never doubted their validity in the past, but now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3 or 4 days, maybe more given the abundance of nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might is also technically italics, but it's obviously just for emphasis, but I will add it anyway. Provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here, beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No, it would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces, and see if life goes on. Am I gonna be cursed from reading this, and I'm gonna have like 12 steps left once I'm done reading this or something? It's gonna be like, and now the curse rests with you, and then it ends. Though we already read the final line, so we know that it doesn't end that way. It would most certainly be, yeah. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution. And if, by some stroke of luck, the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him, as if he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4. Perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick... Can't we do that? Give us a jump key. Is that what this book is going to do? I'm going to learn to jump, and then I can jump through doorways, and then not take a step. Because I technically didn't take a step, I jumped. Right? He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. Guy's dead. That doesn't really look like a sword. It looks like a mallet or something, but I think it's supposed to be a sword? Is it? Or what is that? I don't even know what I'm looking at. Is it just a cane and that's like a pocket? And it's just like rested against him? Oh. That's a smiley face! Right there! 2 eyes and a little smiley. Look at that guy. He's so happy about this curse thing. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that it appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task too great to chance. And so, after a profound breath, he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox, whose typical function oft secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud, to the horses seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. Sip of tea, hold on. Okay, we are like halfway done, maybe? Part 2. Below the Black Bridge. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on third watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful to not wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. And I'm musing over this being italics, even though it's probably nothing, but still. I'll take everything I can get. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked toward the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Nothing much here. Can I, like, put this, like, over here? Yeah, you can as well. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. I wonder if these names are going to be significant. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything is italics. God damn it. There's too many italics. It's probably just for emphasis. It's a story. They use italics, but we gotta do it. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered the braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as the water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time, their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern, as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between the Gentry lands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Oris and Reddington. To the city... Okay, that might be important. That might be important, the geography, like where Oris is in terms of Reddington. To the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do... Italics, 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 italics. A genter might, like a hero in a book, anything they do. I think I'm cracking the code here. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cavern house bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, or to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Could have also just, like, read the full story and then magnified things, I guess, but I guess this is giving me a few seconds of, like, a reprieve. Doesn't look like much here. Forgot to magnify the previous... Oh, yeah. Previous picture. Yeah, nothing much, but still. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, suddenly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu... I don't know how to pronounce that. I've, like, seen that word so many times, but I don't know how to pronounce it. In lieu of words, I think it is, something like that. But the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform, long grey coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Blackguards, the Blackguards. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Blackbridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguards was nearby. I mean, it's like Blackguards sounds more piratey, but I think I'll just say Blackguards. The men had nearly reached the bridge's northern end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, and the same concern mirrored in each other's... I read that wrong, but whatever, each other's expression. This did not sound like the typical carriage cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard a harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. Below? More digging? Go. Below go. Go below, they do. Anything like a hero in a book might agenter. That might be it. I got it. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go! Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing toward the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Blackguard attack. It's more fun to say Blackguard. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She had expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain. Yet she watched... Wait, I didn't do this one. That kind of looks a little important, because they have so much detail when, like, magnified. I don't know if that's significant. I don't know what I'm seeing, like, here. It looks like he's holding, like, a toothbrush. Or if that's just, like, weird artifacts. Also, wait, doesn't this guy have, like, 3 legs? He has 1 leg here, and 1 leg here, and then 1 leg here. It's AI. This is AI. Oh, no, that's the gun. Okay, never mind. Yeah, Blackguard attack. Yeah, yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front 2 wheels. I need tea again, 1 sec. And catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the Unholy Hounds came spilling forth from the earth, as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, and the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both now realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Geoffrey Heartslasher, good old Jeff Heartslasher, led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. And there's the effigy, huh? don't know what I'm looking at. Are these legs? Are these ears? Is it a bird? Is it a turkey? Are these tail feathers? And this is like a leg? And this is the beak and a wing? It's a turkey. The curse of a turkey. Or like a pheasant. I don't know. I don't know if there's any point like screenshotting this. I mean, you can kind of see enough without it, I feel. Well, poor Jesper. Totally cursed. The curse is definitely real. Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favorite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles in this cave, but he still had thorns, owned by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone. Yeah, that's definitely great. Poor guy. Forever cursed in the afterlife too. A marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. We have the Sigil of Orindia right here. I don't feel like that's important to like screenshot specifically, since you can just see it here. Yeah, there's the effigy, I suppose. I wonder how many people touched the effigy there. They're all gonna die. I need tea. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her. But even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead. Louder speech than she had ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Italics? Shouldn't it be italics? Miller felt a hand in the darkness, pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed 2 bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. 2 bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began, blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee of the Blackguard looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. Here are the same dudes again. This is the same exact guy that was on the bridge with his 3 legs. Look at them. It does look weird that he has like a toothbrush attachment to his rifle. I guess it's convenient for like out on the field. Yeah, nothing much else here. That's it? Okay. They all just died. I mean, was it like man-made? Did these guys like collapse the cave? Or was it just the curse? It all just seems very like circumstantial, you know? Okay, do I have 12 steps? I do not have 12 steps. What the hell were we supposed to like get from that, if anything? I don't know if there's like Surely this book is not, like, entirely just pointless, you know? There has to be, like, some point to what you, like... what you read. Let's do that. Yeah, I mean, it was a fun read. That's true. Yeah, can't see anything to, like... to look at, magnify, or anything like that. We already checked here. Did I? There's a hand there or something. Did I even check this one? I might have forgotten. Almost looks like there's a word here. Linhika. I'm gonna screenshot that just in case. And there it looks like, woo! Oh, deadly. I didn't get this one. Where would that be? Like, in the list here? Nope, don't do that. Deadly. Any other italics word? Oh my god, there's so many. Oh my god, there's so many I haven't, like, written down. I probably should, just in case. Yeah, I don't know, like, when I started noticing italics words. Well, we may as well. Yeah, let me know if you see any italicized words. Yeah, here. Okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, I guess I'll get the, like, deadly later. Just in case this is anything. I wonder why the guy was driving around an empty, like, old carriage. Just with a cursed coffer in it. Yeah, my youth. And my is the only... Oh, wait, hold on. Do it again. My is the only, like, italicized word. Maya Genter? Might like I hear in a book anything they do. Below go, shouldn't it be day? Indignity. My indignity. This is absolutely nothing, but I'm gonna keep doing it. There is a lockbox in the carriage. Oh no, that's terrible. No, don't get the thing in. Yeah, deadly. Deadly agenter? Yeah, agenter. Might. Like I hear in a book. Anything? Yeah, anything. Anything they do. I don't think I... No, I did get that, yeah. Yeah, again, it's like... It's only the corner room parlor things that actually, like... Not even the parlor, the patio and all of that, that specified lowercase words or whatever, which didn't even mention italics, but they all have been italics. Below go. So it's probably nothing. Shouldn't it be day? Yeah. That looks like a person. Here's a big mouth and he's eating something. Here's his eye. Here's the ear. Here's like a collar of like a suit. He's like a fancy like butler or something eating like a cupcake. And this is the hair, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, no idea what I was, like, supposed to get out of that, really. You can't unsee it. Speaking of library, we should definitely check that one book. So Mary was sitting here, I believe. Oh god. Was she? I think so. Oh god. Do I have to go back and check? I could do that. I'm pretty sure she was sitting here and he was standing over here. And he, like, took a book out. I'm just gonna spam click. It would have been, like, right here somewhere, so... probably nothing. Yeah. Doesn't seem like anything. It should have been in that shelf. Like, right here, I would have thought. If that was anything. But maybe I should just do a quick little confirmation. Just rewatch the previous part when I was watching that. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, he's next to this chair and this little table. And he's on, like, in this bookshelf. So yeah, it would have been, like, right here or something. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That might not be anything, but I don't know what kind of, like, book they're reading or comparing. Yeah, if this was something, it would probably just be, like, you have to be specifically on the exact book for, like, more than a second. And then it would show up. And we didn't have anything, like, up here to do, right? Oh, there are no windows here. Even though it's on the corner? So I guess this is just what the library would look like if you draft it as an outer room. So it's probably not, like, super interesting. It's definitely lower on the priority. Because I thought library, like, almost always had windows, but I guess not if you get it, like, in the middle of the house. But this is not even the middle of the house. It's kind of weird. Can't seem to pass it up. I've had it, like, one time. I guess just because, like, other ones I have passed up. And yeah, we have electromagnet and whatever the coin purse rabbit foot is. Swimbird plushie paid in full. Yeah, I guess it was paid in full. Yeah, so I guess if it was on sale, it would, like, mention that. Oh, really? We did get all of the stamps. Didn't I have this one? The Costa Rica one? Where did I see the Costa Rica stamp? That was, like, here. Yeah, I see. I guess this is a cleaner image, but I mean... doesn't seem to be anything of super, like, importance. There's, like, the guy again. If that is the guy. Like, this guy looks like the guy that's in the chapel and the basement, but maybe not. It's just generic dude in robes, so who knows? Also, you placed this wrong. Come on, redo it. Okay, we have all of the stamps, and there are 8 stamps for 8 realms. Oh, and, like, it doesn't matter. This... okay, should I note this down? Is this a 7? No, that almost looks like a 3. Like a 3 that goes down like that. But maybe that's just embellishment? I don't know. It's hard to tell. And then this one doesn't have a number. It says 3. Could be 3. This one's 10. 4 or 40? 4C. I don't know what that is. Because it's the C. Ah, I get it. But the Fen one doesn't have any number. Fire, we are foe. If you'd, like, take away the red. And just Rand Ream of Fen Ares, if you take away the red. Yeah, it's weird that this one does not have a number, but the other ones do. I don't feel like I need to write that down, but I mean, maybe. Maybe at some point. Dormitory, maybe one day. Really? Dormitory is now my most avoided one? Huh. In lavatory I do want. I have another shelter. Okay. Well, it was kind of worth looking at again. Yeah, we're definitely entering, like, awkward territories, because, yeah, we don't have much left to do in this run, but I don't have time for, like, another entire run. But I guess we can go down and do the Sanctum Key thing, just finish Arch Ares, and maybe open that one more Ajay box that I still haven't opened, two of them or something, I suppose. Alright, workshop. Damn it. Okay, the question now is, do I re-roll here? Because, oh shit, I forgot I was supposed to look in the room directory. Okay, does someone know what is the default rarity of the workshop? Isn't it unusual, like 3 out of 4? Because if so, I would imagine that it's like more likely to be drawn from the library, so we should maybe spend a reroll here, but I don't know. I don't know if that's worth it. It might be bad to reroll when we now, like, get another chance to see something down here. Yeah, it's so unlikely that this run is gonna, like, end up getting a mechanarium. Like, one workshop or boiler room. Workshop is unusual, yeah, 3 out of 4. And then we would need to get it here too, which is very unlikely. Oh boy, this is probably not happening. Nice windows. Well, another chance. Let's just go with it now. Oh man, can it even generate here? Maybe. Do I have anything I want to code check? Moon pendant? Eh. Magnifying glass? Eh. Not really. I don't think I bother with a code check. I don't think it's worth putting the moon pendant in here. Like, I don't know what that would even do. I guess I just do this and then hope for a workshop. And now we may as well roll twice, but I don't know if it even can spawn like this, but hopefully it can. Or boiler room, if that's possible. Wow. Excellent key card. That I kind of wanted to code check, maybe, but we could also just, like, end the run in a break room and get a key card, I suppose. Because, yeah, where else am I ending the room? The run? Is there any point? I have tried bedroom, right? I don't know if I did spare quarters. Or, like, servants' quarters. Specifically for bedrooms. Yeah, I think I already did this bedroom, didn't I? I should have that written down or something. Would probably be a good idea. And I don't know where that would even be. Should probably add it to, like, monk experiments. Bedroom, call day. So we have ladyship. What was that again? Like minus 10 steps plus 1 star? We do have, like, screenshots of this. Master bedroom. Steps? We don't know what that is exactly. I'm pretty sure I tried bedroom, but yeah, I would have to go back and check again. We tried solarium, and that's not even a bedroom. And then, yeah, it was... Oh, yeah, right. It did say... I haven't done spare quarters, or not spare, but, like, servants' quarters, but it did say if you do it in there, you get, like... What was it? It was some, like, really bad one. Like, half the steps or something, but 1 reroll, which sounds so bad. I'll just say servants. Half steps plus 1 die. I don't know if it was specifically half, but it definitely sounded pretty bad. Bunk room. Right, bunk room is a big one. I need to get, like, a bunk room. We probably need a jackhammer before I do this. If I get a jackhammer again, then I can try and, like, end it in a bunk room, and then do a run, get a bunch of rerolls, and then see if we can get a tomb, just to see what happens with that. Yeah, guest bedroom was, like, nothing. No observable effect. I don't know if that means it doesn't have an effect, or that it's just, like, she didn't notice anything. Guess I'll write that down, just because, like, it's significant. Yeah, I'll just say guest, because, like, we know it's bedrooms. Guest. Nothing. I keep doing this. Bunk room. What did it specify? Flower in tomb. Ah, stop. Bunk. Flower in tomb. Yeah, about half the steps. Should just say about, but I mean, I assume it is half the steps. And one single die. It sounds so bad. But I guess if you really need that reroll for something in particular, like the tomb or whatever, but then you can't end it in the bunk room. Yeah, just more steps than normal. I don't know how many. 10, I would imagine. Maybe more than that. There's like 20 steps like the sauna. That would be pretty good. But yeah, I think that's everything. Alright. Final chance. I need a mechanical room right here, and I guess I have to roll for it. Unless we get something like really cool. Like, I guess freezer I would probably take just to save the money, but I don't know if I really care about that much. Master bedroom, huh? It's a little tempting just to take this to end the run in here and just see how many steps extra do we get, but it's like not that significant, I feel. Unless it's like 50 extra steps or something. I think I'm just gonna reroll and, yeah, hope for a workshop. Yeah, that's not it. Last chance. Nope. And we can't do quest bedroom. I could do lost and found. Oh, right. I couldn't even afford the master bedroom. Yeah, Mechanarium Dream is dead, but we still have a chance to draft it just to see, like, if I do get it, we can see, I mean, it's very unlikely to even do that. We can see if the, like, whole blocking one door thing is even correct, and I would have 3 out of 4 diagonals. Because, yeah, maybe that's just wrong, and it's like RNG or something. Which ones get added? I guess I take that. That's probably not... There's no point to that. And then, like, there's no item that I care that much about. Like, Moon Pendant, I guess, but, like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Let's just go in. Oh, never mind. It's sheltered. I keep forgetting about this fucking shelter effect. Ooh, the telescope. Okay. Hey, now we can, like, actually do something fun again. Because now I can go out to, the, like, outside and see if I can, like, spy something in the distance. That's cool. You don't understand a locker room? You have to use a bunch of keys to spread keys? I mean, you don't have to use the keys. The keys are, like, optional. If you have more keys, you can open the lockers and potentially get, like, gems and keys and food and stuff like that. But then just drafting it in general just spreads keys across the entire estate. So if you draft it, like, quite late, you just get keys in, like, many rooms. What? Was this here? I guess this was here. I thought this was, like, added. New or something, but no. Yeah, all like, spread rooms... Oh, it's gone now. But all spread rooms, like this one, is just, well, not like this one, because this one you have to manually do, but most spread rooms just, like, spread when you draft them. It just, like, adds, you know, Secret Garden just adds fruit to a bunch of different rooms across the estate. Yeah, Black Pawn. Alright, well, okay, so what else could we use the telescope for, if anything? I don't have any observatories out of the 3, because I just, like, passed them up. Is there anything else that, like, looks like I would be able to spy something, like in the ballroom ceiling. I mean, probably not. But it is open to the ceiling, and we do have steps, so, like, why not, I suppose? Anywhere that has, like, a ceiling, like, skylight or something. I don't think there's anything else. Chapel. We can spy the face of God, possibly. Yeah. I think I'll try and get over to the ballroom and just see if we can use it there. Then we'll go to the foundation, go down, and check the stuff outside, and then I guess check the chapel if possible, and then just end it in the break room. And that'll have to be that. Just, yeah, 2 more right here, Nuons and Archeries. Oh yeah, and yeah, when we're going down there, we'll do Archeries, because I'm pretty sure I can do that now. We just have, like, 1 unknown. And yeah, we have running shoes as well, so should have plenty of steps. It is a little bit of a shame, in my opinion, that you have to, like, you know, draft library, order a book, draft it another day, get the book, or I guess you could maybe have duplicate copies or something. Oh yeah, draft the last room, yeah, of course. We should just do that, like, right now. No reason not to. And it's not, like, midnight, is it? Not even close. I don't know if this is, like, 4 a.m. now. Because, yeah, that would have been something to try and get there at midnight, the ballroom, or 12:15, the other one. Yeah, I mean, gallery did technically show up. I just had to pass it up. But I do want that at some point as well. I don't know if it matters if we draft from here or from here in terms of, like, increasing the chances that you get a Mechanarium. I mean, last time when I did attach it to the antechamber, it was from the bottom. So maybe just for that reason alone, I'll do it from the bottom. Here's the Mechanarium. Do we want to launder anything? Can I do anything with that? Not really, right? Boudoir doesn't matter. There's no reason not to do this, I suppose. But I don't think there's anything I care to do, since it's not powered. Oh, experiment, a star! Wow, I forgot about that too. That's actually good. Getting an additional star. Man, there's just so much to keep in mind in this game at all times. We can get infinite keys if I want to. Or infinite gems. I don't think it matters much because we don't have a freezer. I wonder if there's, like, a special title or something if you have a whole bunch of gems when you end the run. Or keys. I feel like gems are more fun. I'm doing gems for money. Wait, hold on. There's nothing I need money for, right? Commissary's done, kitchen is done, gift shop is done. Yeah, it should be fine. Alright. Give me all the gems. Oh god, and then we're gonna go into the showroom and lose them all? I just realized. I'm gonna sacrifice, like, 58 gems to the showroom. Not showroom, the ballroom gods. Well, that's fine. I don't need them anyway. Though, if there was a special title for, like, ending a day with, like, above, I don't know, 30 gems or something, we're gonna lose out on that. Oh well. It doesn't seem like there's that many, like, titles, really. RIP. And I cannot spy any stars or anything. No telescope activity. There's nothing else here that, like, would be a hint to a new clue. I don't know what the ballroom wants from you. 2 glasses. Yeah, alright. That's that. I'm just spinning around, making you dizzy, sorry. Okay, so that's that. Now we go to foundation again, I suppose. Yeah. Let's do the Arch Ares sigil. Oh shit! You can't call this up! Oh no! Okay, we have to go out the long way. Yeah, that makes sense. Jump down, Simon, jump down. Just slide down. I wonder... Oh man, I wonder if you had the lever here, could you then go and turn it and like pull the thing up again? Oh, that would be really cool to see. It's like pretty useless, but could be a potentially like interesting thing to do if you want to save some steps. Alright, well, we should have enough steps anyway, thanks to the running shoes. And I can buy more... Oh, no I can't. No money. Could have bought more bananas, I guess. Yeah. Hope I'm not forgetting anything. I'm sure I'm forgetting everything. Didn't want to go in here. I mean, the chapel, I guess. But, like, I need to come back in anyway. Let's go to the chapel now. Just to see if there's, like, something to telescope. Nope. Doesn't seem like it. No. No point going in here. Alright. I don't know if I need to, like, call down the elevator there to do it. I'm hoping no, but I don't know. Telescope. Give me a telescope prompt. Please. I can't, like, go past this. Aw, man. How many experiment triggers? Yeah, 4. That's pretty good. Which is not enough to, like, unlock all the doors, I don't think. I mean, I guess we could check that. I think it's 5 triggers, but we could go down and check just to confirm that. Can't, like, telescope here. They were standing specifically here, but man, it would be annoying if you had to do that. Because then, like, now the boat is on the other side, so there's no way I can go past. Without, like, draining the fountain again. Yeah. I sure hope that's not a thing, that you specifically need to have a telescope and lower this elevator, which you can't do, like, when you're not inside it, and then look out to something specific that he was pointing at. It just seems so suspicious, the whole, like, him standing here and pointing sort of in this direction to somewhere here. Is that the Black Bridge Grotto or something? No? Yeah, I don't know. Thought that was a good idea. Wait, did I ever... Yeah, no, I don't have, like, a power hammer or anything, because, yeah, I want to try, like, power hammer or jackhammer in here. But I think that's everything, so yeah. May as well go check if the experimentation triggered enough radiation. Yeah, I was hoping there would be, like, an additional use for the telescope, other than just, like, the mechanical reason, you know, like using it in the observatory. $12 or higher. Oh, 4 is enough, huh? I don't know if there's, like, if it is random or depends on, like... Depends on, what's it called? Like, what experiment it is. Also, all doors unlocked does not include the antechamber, does it? I don't actually know. I don't know if we'll have enough steps to check, but probably not. And definitely not the, I guess we can just check from the lever downstairs. That's fine. I can just pull the north lever, and then we'll see if the west one is open as well. But I imagine it's just, like, regular doors that would need keys. Yeah. We sure did a lot, but it sure feels like we accomplished very little today. But hey, new book. New book is always something. And I don't think there's any reason to go over there that I can think of. Oh, that's a thing. Oh, I should probably do that. Instead of getting a key card here, I should end the day on the station, like at the station, just to see if that's something. Was that the last book, or are there more? Yeah, there's quite a few more. Speaking of, thanks for the reminder. I need to note down that we have read and magnified Curse of Blackbridge. But yeah, we have the History of Verindia First Edition, which is definitely a significant one. The Fixed Stars, which sounds like it's the Observatory book, but I do want to see that. And then a Pump System Manual and 2 drafting strategies that I haven't gotten. There's quite a few books left. Yeah, nothing there. Yeah, it's closed. Okay, makes sense. Let's not count that. Alright, Arch Ares. Let's do this. So, we know it is... Well, we don't know, but it seems very likely that it's industrial then. With its power plants and stuff. Industrial... with stormy lines, and zigzag here as well, right? For the yellow, this one, and then this one's probably gonna turn it. Yeah, okay. So which one do we think it is? Maybe I should have tried that one, but yeah. Like, I'm just gonna assume it's trains. Okay, horses. We'll try horses, because it might be like horses and carriages and whatever. But I imagine it's trains. It's not horses. Yeah, this is trains. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Trains in Iraja, Verindia, and Arch Ares. Makes sense. Alright. I don't know why I didn't try industrial last time. It feels like pretty obvious. That's not supposed to be there. I thought there was like a little candle or something. Huh. Arch Ares, the factory area. Stormy factories. Why have a bunch of factories? They should have like water power plants, or like wind turbines. They live in like weird mechanical metallic towers. This looks very Myst-like. This looks like something you would see in Myst. You know, weird like musical instrument. They don't have any hats, only music. All right. Renebaum, Arch Ares. First city of steel. We arrived here after a few days of sailing. Okay, so it's later, after Morajai or something. And it made me realize how much more convenient it would have been in the old days when the railway tracks extended all the way north. Arch Ares is a destination with which I am well acquainted, having traveled here countless times on business for Cinca. This time, however, I will avoid the familiar towns and factories, and will instead trek along the northern coast, an area with which I am wholly unfamiliar. But why are you going to the northern coast? Do we know that? That's a spittoon, yeah, might be. Doubles as a music instrument, and then the more you spit, the more the, like, sound changes. It's great. Yeah, so all we know is that it's after sailing, which makes me think it's after... oh yeah, I should do this. After Morajai, but I don't know for sure. Wait, hold on. So after Iraja? No, before Iraja, right here. Ares after Morajai reached by sailing. I mean, maybe you sail to more countries than Morajai, I suppose. Like, I guess you have to sail to Vera Shores, and you have to sail here and here as well, probably. So I guess you can take airships as well. Yeah. Again, I do feel like I can probably brute force this one, but I should probably hold off until we get the final one. Alright, yellow was just the one that goes up, right? Up north. Arch Ares variation. Arch Ares was the very first realm to introduce a new color to the traditional monochromatic tiles of the box. Haven't I read this? Wasn't this like somewhere else? Given the number of ship routes and trade relationships between the two realms, this is not surprising. Yeah, ship routes. That kind of hints at that too, so they probably traveled from Morajai to Arch Ares? I don't know. Fittingly, the variation itself was based on the brass compasses manufactured in Arch Ares that were often traded to sailors in exchange for the valued Morajai puzzle boxes. When yellow tiles are pressed, they move north. They move north, huh? And yeah, right, this one like cycles over. Yeah, so don't we do... like, we move this north, then we move this over here. No? We have the green as well. Maybe I did want to cycle that over. Maybe I want to get it down here. Because then I can flip it over here. But we need to get them down. Like, getting them down is the hard part, I guess. And these don't do anything. Guess I jump over here, then we move this over here and up. Then I can move this down again so that we now have two here. Yeah, this should work. This way, and then make sure we don't place these wrong. So just here, move this up, and there we go. Yeah, that was kind of a fun one. There we go. 59 allowance. Which one is going to reach 99 first? Allowance or stars? It's a competition. Allowance is like the tortoise, and stars are the hare, because it can shoot up really fast, but then we can, waste stars by re-rolling and stuff, but allowance will just keep going up, unless we trade it for the stars eventually. Okay, so did I leave any other boxes that I didn't complete? I know the Fen one, but was there any other one? This one we were done with. So Fen we definitely need to do. Araja I did complete. That was the purple one. Violet. Kororika. That was the one I also didn't complete, but it didn't feel as hopeless as the previous one, the Fen one. I just didn't have time at the time. I think we did all of the other ones. Didn't put that in your notes? You mean the Morajai boxes I didn't complete? Because yeah, no I didn't mark that. Or was there something else I was supposed to put in my notes? Alright, so Kororika, let's do that one first. So Kororika was the the adjacent ones. When they are pressed, if the majority of adjacent tiles share a color, the pressed tile will change to that color, but only when the orange ones are pressed. Okay, so this goes down. we can shift these around, which we probably want to do. So I can press this and get one. But does it matter that we get them here? May as well, I suppose. And then... Huh? Oh, the majority, of course. So I guess let's swap over here. Now it's the majority. Uh-huh. This looks kind of promising. Just, like, get all of them. Oh yeah, I can just press it now. Okay, and then just this. Okay, now's the problem, though. How do I get... These can move down. So we just need to fix these ones. Yeah, there we go. Wow, that... I'm stupid. It's orange. I thought we were doing purple for some reason. Whoops. It's the opposite. Okay, we need orange. Yeah. Pretend I'm in the Araja Sanctum, and like that was genius. High level skilled play. Okay. So what do we do about that then? Like then it seems like the whole conversion mechanic of these is like pointless for this one. It's just about moving, I guess. You don't... It's weird. Like, why would they do that? Why would they introduce the color and say, oh, they convert into the color, but then like that's not even relevant for its own Morajai box? You're not supposed to do that? That just seems very strange to me. To voice crack. Hold on, T. Oh boy. Okay, so what do we do then? I need to, like, get these ones down. Which we can do like this. Yeah, what do we do at this point? Yeah, man, I do not really understand this one. How could we, like... How could we get these to go, like, down or up? Except by, like, shifting these. It has to be doing that, but, like, I feel like pressing this now is bad. Because then the black tile is, like, forever locked here. Well, not forever. We can do, like... Wait. This. And swap one of these over. Then, like, swap this up here. But do I want to, or do I want to swap up, like... Because that would get us 3 corners, but we need more than that. Kind of seems like we're going to want to try and get, like, black and 2 purple up here. And then get the 2 purples to be in these slots or something. But then I need to have these in position at the same time. I mean, let's just move this up, I suppose. Yeah, that's still 3 out of 4. I don't feel like I ever want to... Oh man, I don't know. Like, move this in again. But that doesn't really help, does it? Now I'm just, like, repeating the same thing. Yeah. I do not understand this one. I don't get how you can, like, move any more from the center column or center row, which is what you, like, need to do. I can do this. Wait. 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 Hold. Hold. No, but how do I switch it back? It's not gonna work. Oh god. No, that's not it. Is it? Holy shit! Holy shit, I've done it. Okay. Jesus. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's probably the second hardest, in my opinion. 61. And then we have yet another one. This godforsaken Fen one. And we do know how the white works. Do I remember? How did the white work again? What were the rules for this? It just doesn't, like, say anything. It's just white can be pressed like a button, which will change the color of that tile in the surrounding squares. Like a light bulb puzzle. Because I feel like it was the white and the orange at the time that I really did not understand. But yeah, I guess, like, the whole Fen thing is now gonna be, like, us taking over Kororika tiles or whatever, just converting them from orange to red or something. But man, yeah, this box was, like, my bane. Yeah, that just turns gray. So if we manage to get, like, this here, and I click this, they're gonna be too white? Ah, okay. But, oh, and yeah, then we know the Arindia one, if I press this, it's gonna turn these black. Which is good, I guess. Because then this turns red. I'm gonna do it. Oh, no. Wait, what was that rule again? About the whole, like... Oh, it's red. You press red, and it turns black tiles red, and, like, white tiles black, or something? Yeah, exactly. And then we swap this over here, move it over here. So now we have the 4 red tiles I need. But how do I move them now is the question. If we even can. Can't convert this one. I don't know about this. This feels like I can't really do anything now. I guess I've messed up. It's like we can't move these out of the center column in any way. You can just move the gray over here. Wait, no. No, if I press a red. Oh, shit. No. I press a red and it's fine. Wait, swap this over here? Oh, no. No, because we have 3, but I need another one. How do we do that? Because the gray one doesn't change. But we can get 2 additional red tiles. But I need 1 more here somehow. Yeah, and that I don't feel like I can do at this point. I'm pretty sure I can't do it at this point. I think it's, like, broken. But then what else do we do? I feel like you have to convert these 2 to start. And, like, there's no way we can... We can't do more with a white, can we? I can convert these 2 to white and then eventually to red. But there will always be 1 gray tile remaining, as far as I understand, because this one just light bulb puzzles. These ones here, like, sure, we can move this around if I want to, but it doesn't do anything. And I can't, like, get any of these into any other row here. How do we, like, move anything out of the middle row? I just don't feel like that's possible. Oh! Oh my god, I can convert orange ones to whites! Wait, does that matter? Because, I mean, I would have converted them to red anyway. Does that do anything? I mean, it's something new, I suppose. It's something new, but I'm not sure if it's, like, significant. But, like, we can do this now. But, like, does that matter? I don't know that that matters. Yeah, you can't do the proper light bulb puzzle maneuver where I would click this and get these two without affecting anything else. Would we want to, like... I mean, I guess... Okay. Wait. No. I mean, having it here does mean it'll become black, which does mean I can, like, shift it around, but only on this row, which we still can't really do anything with. How do I move a red tile out of the middle row? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do at this point. Yeah, felt like a eureka moment of the whole, oh my god, I can make more white tiles, but it doesn't seem like that does anything. Just whether these are orange or white, it doesn't matter, because they'll just turn red in the end anyway, but I can't move them regardless. I mean, I guess... Oh, wait. What it does allow me to do is keep the gray tile in a center column, because I can do this. And that seems good. And that seems good. Isn't that... That's it. That's it. Because now I turn all these black and then all of them red. Nice. That's pretty fucking satisfying when you actually get it. When you do understand the mechanics. It's just, man, I did not understand the mechanics of this the first time you saw it. Yeah? Oh boy. Do I like more Ajay boxes now? They were supposed to be my nemesis. I'm supposed to hate them. But, like, that's actually a good puzzle. But just, god damn it. That one took so much time. Time away from my life. When, like, yeah, the hopeless part was just, like, not understanding the rules, and that was the thing with, like, a lot of more Ajay boxes when you found them early on. It was just like, you just click and it's like, oh, it's done. And I didn't understand why. But, like, once you finally have all the rules and you can actually deduce how to solve them, they're pretty satisfying. Yeah, it's like one of the few where you need specific insight about the, like, the difference between, or, like, the ways the white and orange work in order to even, like, be able to understand the solution, I feel. Whereas most of the other ones you can kind of just, like, half-ass your way to. Like, just click around and you'll eventually, like, kind of, sort of understand how they work. Because, yeah, like, I didn't fully understand the green for a long time with, like, swapping over. What is this? Oh no, I thought these were, like, trunks. How it, like, swapped over the center tile. But, like, you could still solve them even with green because, like, you just kind of clicked around. Yeah, there's nothing else here. And the train, we don't know what time it is right now. No clocks anywhere. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just gonna end it here. Waiting at the station. Press L. I'm pressing L. Nope. That was not anything. Platform 8. Maybe it's just something about like, oh, you need to complete all the 8 sanctums and get the 8 keys and open the safe or something before it actually does anything. But yeah, let's just call it a day here in the safe house at the metro, and we will see if that does anything on Sunday. So yeah, did I accomplish much today? A little bit. Corporate shopping center of tomorrow. That's definitely what we want the estate to turn into. What the hell? Why though? Because of the... Oh, because I had conference room, office, and mail room. I see. Those are all the, like, corporate rooms. 4 shop rooms, 4 tomorrow rooms. Too bad we didn't get a clock tower. Yeah. I mean, sad about missing out on all this. That could have been another workshop or a boiler room or something, but... Yeah, for a first attempt at Mechanarium, getting, like, potentially 7, I guess? Wait, what was it again? I need to recount again. 1, 2, 3... 4, 5, and then, yeah, 6. 6 with the Mechanarium. And then, if dead ends work the way I think, that would have worked with 2 dead ends, but with 1 it would not work. But yeah, we had 2 potential extra ones that would help as well. Alright. There we go. 1 final Sanctum key and final Mora Jai box. Unless there's more, like the tunnel. There might be more Ajai boxes hiding somewhere that we don't know about. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Guess we'll do more of this on Sunday and see if anything came of today and ending it at the station. Have a good night.